I got so this is just like one more recap video kind of thing before we actually go into the more difficult stuff. So you're going to be introduced to a tool called the Flex tool, and the Flex tool works just like Quantize with Midi. So I'm going to go to this Midi file and I'm going to double click it. I'm going to open it up, and you should be following along. You should be doing this as well. Okay, so I'm just going to play measure 3 through 7, and I'm going to see what we have here. All right, so one sec. Let's go up here, and we're just going to play that. So I'm going to hit play here, and let's see what we get. If you listen to the click and you listen to the kick drum, you can tell they're not perfectly on the kick on the grid. See, it's not perfectly on the grid, and if I zoom in, look what happens right here. You see, you can tell that the kick hits are not perfectly on the grid, because there's the grid line, and then look where that is. Same thing here, look where that is. So in case you forgot how to quantize or lock something MIDI into the grid, all you would have to do is we're gonna actually go here to measure 3, and see that's supposed to be right there. This kick drum is supposed to be right there. Now I could either move it, I'm gonna hit Command Z, or I can quantize it. So I'm gonna click on here, and since this is just one whole note and it should be on the 3, we're gonna go to an 8th note, and watch what happens right here when I click on that 8th note. It locked it in. You see that? So all of this should be locked into the grid. So we're gonna highlight the kick drums, all of them, and I'm going to go over here to the Q button and watch what happens in this area when I hit the Q button. It's all locked in. Now let's listen to it. See how now the kick drum is perfectly with the grid? I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit play so it's not locked in, so you can hear the difference. Here it is. You can tell that that kick drum is laid back a little too much, right? So let's quantize that. So now everything in there is locked to the grid. Now remember, I'm not just looking to see if it's locked in. I'm also going to hit play, and I'm listening. Boom, 2, 3, to make sure it's locked into the grid. Okay, now I'm gonna go to this section and let's see what we have here. And you should be following along. So if you didn't pause this already and quantize this section, pause it, quantize it, then come back. Here's the next section. Let's see what we got. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. You hear how off those kick drums are? And look at the grid lines. Look how far off they are, right? So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to highlight everything here. And we're going to, there you go, put it over the kicks. I think 1/8 may not work, but what we're going to do is we're going to hit quantize, and then we're going to hit play. Okay, so I'm going to hold Command tap the letter Z one time. I'm going to go over here to my notes, and I'm going to quantize it at 1/16 and hear the difference. Let's see. Now let's hear the difference when it's at 1/8. There is no difference. See, notice that the notes didn't move, so that means that this is locked in. Listen to the click, listen to the kick, and you should be able to tell whether it's all locked in or not. Okay, so here's another set of MIDI that we need to lock in. Okay, now remember, if you wanted to just go in and lock these in like this, you could, but that's a little more advanced. You need to know where the grid lines are, or which grid lines you need, and then drop them in. See what I'm saying? But here's what we're going to do. We're going to listen. You can definitely tell that that's not locked in. So again, we're going to highlight. I'm going to click here. I'm going to drag across. If this thing decides it wants to work, I'm going to click here, drag across. There it is. And I'm just going to quantize. I'm actually going to go 1/16. If you want more metronome, you can hold Control, click on the metronome, go to metronome settings, and bring the volume up. Yep, that is locked in. So we're gonna do one more with video, and then you're gonna do the rest on your own. Okay, so here we go. Let's listen to this really quickly. See what we got. That is clearly off, way off. So again, we're just gonna click right here somewhere. Why is this thing playing games with me? Okay, so click, hold, and drag across. My goodness. It just kind of, there we go. So we're gonna highlight all of that. I'm gonna go over here, and I think I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna try at 1/8. So you notice, look over here in this section where all the MIDI information is. Watch what happens when I hit Quantize. That's how bad it was. You see all that movement? Let's listen. Okay, it's on. And last one, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. Let's see what we have here. Oh goodness, that's bad. Listen to that hat, and then listen to the click. Look at how bad that is. So I'm gonna highlight all of these notes. I'm actually gonna go, since it's tap 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 tap, I'm actually gonna go 1/16 for sure. Normally when there's a lot like this, like together in succession like this, or succession, or whatever the word is, I'll go to 1/16, because if I do 1/8, this is more for whole notes, that kind of thing, or notes that are more spread apart. So I'm going to go 1/16. Watch the information here, the MIDI information. Look at how bad that was. I'm going to undo that, Command Z, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to quantize, look at it. Look how much movement there is. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look how bad that was. Now let's listen. See how that's staying in perfect time? Well, guess what? There is all of this. Oops, sorry about that. All this stuff here needs to be quantized from measure. Excuse me. From measure. What is this? From measure 37 all the way up to measure. Looks like 94. You're gonna quantize all of that, and then you're going to bounce it to an MP3, and you're going to send it to me. Anyway, that was your refresher on quantizing. Quantize all this stuff here, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Thank you, guys.